Welcome back to Central Wing Chun. Today we're going to be looking at, maybe you get one, chain striking. Let's take a look. Before we look at the more practical ways of using this straight punch, this center line punch, let's look at some of the basic mechanics. I've already done a video where I've got a lot of description about punching. You can check that out there in the link. When you strike out here, you're bringing that elbow back into a position where it's useful after the strike. You don't leave the hand out there. You don't pull it all the way back here because you leave yourself open. You strike and you leave it somewhere useful with spring in it so that it could still go again or the other one can follow, right? But also forward, right? This is a basic model you might find in a Wing Chun class early on. You're doing your center line punches. That's not a complete punch. It's teaching you basic mechanics of the arm, timing, relax, contract, that sort of idea, going through the correct channels. But it's very important that you focus on the elbow in particular, all right? When you strike out, you come back to a good position here. Now, as you recoil, the guard hand has to come up here, right? Often, this is a mistake I see. People punch and they leave this hand down here. So they punch, and this hand is down near the sternum somewhere. Well, why is it that most of the time we acknowledge that we need a rear guard hand, however you organize yourself, but when you're striking, I don't need a guard anymore, yeah? You deserve to get struck in those moments, right? Because one counter is gonna provide the person with a perfect target that they can just come through and help you with that cure for insomnia. So this hand you need to train to get back up. If you punch properly, you punch through where the other hand was, not over, not round, through. It merges where it was. This elbow is sinking, and after it's sunk, it reloads like a gun. Yeah? That's how you should train your punch. So you've always got a guard at the back. When we're talking about double punching, there's a distinction now, what makes it a double punch. It's the fact that the elbow doesn't stop. It doesn't stop in its pocket here. It continues all the way to the rear guard again. Punch, punch, recover. Punch, punch, recover. Punch, punch, recover. It's a continuity of action. If we're talking about this hand now, watch. Punch, 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 punch. So there's no stop. It's all movement. Right, so let's have a look at how we're actually going to apply this double punch. 1, 2. Something's missing. When the first punch hits, the target moves out of the striking zone. So we now need to either make up space or we need to watch and observe and maybe hit another target, maybe use another weapon, all right? So as she hits, what we need to do now is to pursue the target. She struck, it's moved. We've got this distance we need to make up, step. That's how we're gonna do a double punch, when it moves. And we must appreciate that. So 1, 2, and we make up the distance. What happens is this. If I was standing square, punch, one of two things is gonna happen. Firstly, either my toes will lift and somehow I manage to regain my balance. If that happens, 1, you can Chun Ma on the second one, 2, hit them as they come back into the striking zone. So in those situations, you can get away with 1, 2, something like this. 1, 2, because this has happened, this sort of rocking effect as I've got my balance back. Yeah? More likely, when you punch here, you're going to push the head beyond the center of gravity, a new center of gravity created, in which I must put my foot behind me to support myself so I don't fall down, so I don't fall back. So now, there's a greater distance between you, a greater distance you have to make up, step now, so you actually have to step a little bit more. All these things have to be considered, the movement that you need, the movement the opponent is making. Next, if I had a staggered stance, a forward backward stance here, and the strike lands. I've already got that base of support. So it's less likely, unless you hit really hard, which I want you to do anyway, right? Hit hard, right? Hashtag hit hard, right? If you hit here, it's more likely that the movement will occur at the neck or the hips. When I'm here, more likely the movement occurs at the feet. Here, maybe you get something like this, but still there's distance you have to make up. Sometimes you'll hit here, you might get distance like this, movement at my hips, still distance you have to make up. Varying distances depending on the opponent's structure. You don't need to go after this target again. It's probably the furthest thing away at the moment. You could go for something closer. So from here, there's going to be a smaller step which will go towards this area, the abdomen area, right? Then from here, you can then do another step and go for the face again. Because look at how they've moved. Do the first strike, push, here, do the next strike, here, do the next strike, here. Taking into consideration the way that your opponent is moving on impact. I've just made this up. It's not necessarily gospel that they will move in exactly this way. You need to look, listen, and feel how your opponent is moving. You cannot just strike blindly, hit and hope, hit and hope, hit and hope. Or if you want to just stay in imagination land, yeah, blast the face, carry on blasting the same line. Keep on going. Keep on going. You're cool. We also spoke earlier about the continuity of action that actually makes it a double strike instead of as two singles. This is two singles. Now I do a double strike. There's no stop. No stopping it, right? So is a double strike. Not 1, 2, but 2. Stepping through the target, making sure that you can bury your forearm through the target, right? As I keep on saying, don't just hurt the thing you're hitting, hurt the thing it's connected to, yeah? You're going through the neck with that strike, right? Pushing, pulling, recycling everything you can. But one extra thing we need to put in, which is fundamental for the reality, is this. Hands up. Your opponent's hands might be in the way, yeah? I hope you're not just attacking random people who are standing there like this. Go on. Go on. Right? If you're doing that, maybe we need to have another discussion. Something has happened, whereas you've seen an avenue forwards. That's why you've launched your first strike. Here. Yeah? After landing this first strike, it depends on where their hands are as to which option you might pick next. At the moment, can you see a path to my stomach or my face?
Your face? Maybe?
Take it. At the moment, that is the shot that was available. Put your hands up. So if, say, on the first one, the person's hands were to get in the way, then that's where we might start incorporating some of the various techniques you see. But really, I just want to hit. I didn't want to do any of those techniques. I don't want to do any of them, right? So I just want to blast in the face. So one, there's something in my way. Then I'll do some types of techniques to find an open avenue. But then when I hit again, it's back to the same model of pursue the target, hit what's close, hit what is in range. There's a sensitivity through striking. There's an awareness through striking. There's also the awareness of when your strike gets interrupted on how to remove those interruptions. Okay? So if I strike, she defends, I crack her in the face, then I can carry on with what I was doing. The sensitivity element we'll discuss in greater detail at a later time. Thank you very much for watching Central Wing Chun. Please hit like and subscribe below, it does help. Thank you.